Hey everybody, it's Mr. Delusive with the weekly Devblog. Today, as I was saying last week, I'll probably just be going through the ships. So, that's the only thing I really did anyway. So yeah, I'm just going to be going through that and going into detail a bit, some of the designs and kind of what I was going for with the factions and everything. Because next few weeks I'm just making the ships, and whether I get bored with that, I might make items and stuff or fix some of the alignment when I can be bothered. But yeah. So this one's the Reina Infernal. This was the last one I did. I just did this one yesterday. So yeah, the ships. Um, I don't mind in the gameplay screens. Here they look a bit better, but on that screen you just saw, they all look a bit crap. But yeah, especially with that engine effect, it fits fairly nicely. So yeah, unfortunately I think that is the worst part of the artwork anyway. But yeah, I'll go through it. Even still though, even though they look so badly designed, and I agree, um, there's a reason I did certain designs and everything. So if I go into the ship market, I'll go into the Delsec designs, and besides the Stinger. So the Delsec, what I really wanted to do was their kind of triangle designs. So even the Needler is a bit like a triangle, even though it's got the two extra parts there. Confidence is a bit squarey. See, the Initiative is a bit triangle. And they have smaller segments. If you look at the triangulation here, it seems more detailed, especially when it's in the smaller part, or the smaller version. So, especially the arrow there, they look real triangly. There's some that don't, say the Spirit. Loyalty, the Raptor again, Control. So yeah, they've all got that kind of triangle design. And the reason I was doing it that way, I thought, was because Delsec, the original, when I thought of Delsec originally, it was in that clicker game I made, and it's supposed to stand for Delusive Security, but in this game it stands for Delta Security, and Delta is commonly used to refer to time. That off. Yeah, so Delta is commonly used for time. Especially in coding, and it's also, you in math, I think it is. You use a triangle symbol, or it's similar to a triangle, even in Greek or whatever, and that means delta. So yeah, that's kind of why Delsec has got these triangle designs. But yeah, the names as well. So they kind of got a theme, except the Kairos. So Kairos means, it's like Chronos, except it means the passing of time, I think it was. So yeah, because that was the original plan, and I think I still might do it anyway once I start working on the story. The story is you start with the Kairos, and Reina is taking over Delusia, and what you have to do is you fend it off for a bit in the Kairos with your 10 mount points, but you're getting overwhelmed still, and then you get sent back in time to try and stop the invasion, or beef yourself up before the invasion occurs, and then go through the story that way. And then at the end, I want to have it so you can have choices to decide, you know, maybe help Delsec to defend, or maybe you go to ViperSec and start building a hidden fleet so that when Reyna and Delsec are weakened, you come in and take over, or even Griffin, even Chimera, and you can even help Reyna take over. And that's what I want to go for. I want to have the 5 endings, you know, one for each faction. That will give the player choice. So yeah, I mean that's the story I was going for with that. And yeah, you got like the Kairos, which is time, but all the rest, there's kind of like the Interceptor, which is just and Needler. But you've got ones like Confidence, Initiative, Integration, Triangulation, Spirit, Integrity, Veracity, Assurance, Loyalty, Control, and Honor. They're all like names of values that Delsec hold. I mean, even in the star map, the systems. So like you've got names of, you know, like justice, virtue, and these ones are like gods and beings of like ancient Roman stories, and I think there's even a few Hindu, and there's for just Delsec though, and there's Chinese like Zizi. But yeah, like it's just to show kind of the values that Delsec stand for. And then you've got, so yeah, they're all about, you know, the honor and control, I guess, is the most important. And what I'm going for, yeah, it seems like they're the good guys, but I didn't want it to be so black and white. Like, I wanted Delsec to be that representation of 1984's the state. So they're like all about that control, and yeah, so they might seem like, you know, oh yeah, honorable, but they also have that over security kind of thing. And then on the other aspect is ViperSec, which are all about that mystery and encryption and privacy. And on the star map, so Delsec space is kind of like open. I mean, same with most of it, except some of Reyna and ViperSec. So this green blob is supposed to be a gas cloud, or, you know, like those, you know, in space you have that big green mass, or masses of gases that hide. Sorry, there's just scratching going on. What the hell? That's my cat. Yeah, so like ViperSec, all their areas are hidden in this thick cloud, and that kind of shows, it's kind of because they value that mystery and privacy. And like all their ships are kind of designed around the snake, and so like the stinger, the fang, talon, claw, conda. But it's also, so when I do more, it'll be more based on things that are to do with mystery and everything as well, and encryption. And I mean, even their solar system name. So you got like, that's supposed to, well, it's Loki, but I've spelt it with a C. Ophian, they're all like, gods of the snakes and gods of mystery and everything. So like Apophis, Egyptian, Soma, I forget what that was. So like some of the names you might recognize and some might not, but they're all kind of based on a theme. And so that's Delsec, that's ViperSec. And then you've got the technology that's around each faction. Like Delsec is the Cobalt, which is why they're also blue. So you might have looked. When you play it, you'll look into it. It's like Cobalt multis, Charge Cobalt, Shield, and a Cobalt special. So it's because they use all that Cobalt. So if we go into like Cargo Bay, you'll have, it's hard to see because I don't have the items. Actually, I'll just buy. I've got to fix this alignment. We'll get Cobalt Delurium. I mean, this is like they're Delsec specific materials anyway, so you'll only be able to get that through in Delsec space and in mining in Delsec regions. So we go here to Cobalt. So this will be used in the construction bay. So to make Delsec stuff, and then you got like copper, which gets used a lot in the Chimera. Then you've got Viperium, which is all what Vipersec's based around, and that all their weapons are hydrogen Viperine, which is that acid kind of based weapon. So yeah, like all this stuff kind of thought about to give each faction a backstory. So like the hydrogen Viperine weaponry is strong against armor but weak against shields, and Delsec weapons are pretty average, and then you got Griffin, which are missiles, and they're all about like strong hulls. And but like moving on to Griffin, they've got shields, kind of all about that defense and neutrality. And I mean they're even the solar system names are kind of about what's necessary. Moneta, which is like they value trade as well, so they're kind of a non-aggressive faction, but more that they're into trading and everything. So like in the game they have the most amount of systems as well. But for the player, you'll be able to go to Griffin space and find more neutral areas that you can mine in and trade. So back to the ships. So their names, the Defender, Palisade, Aegis, they're all like shields. And moving on to Chimera. So I've done a bit of Chimera as well. So this one I wasn't too happy with the Stag, but I kept it, and it kind of worked out for another ship I made, which is that one, the Makara. So Chimera, I've kind of made some experimental ships, but what I was going for with Chimera is they're kind of the pirates of the game, and they're strong ships, and they actually use the laser weaponry. But they're kind of like, I'd say they're underdogs, but they're more pirates as well, and they value getting money and gold, and their ships even use gold as well. Their ships and weaponry use gold and stuff, and like they're kind of fast moving, weak hulls. Kind of hit and run kind of vessels, and a lot of them are based around the water and piracy of those days. Like the Tide. The Hydra, which is an old kind of water monster. Stag, not so much. Saber, like a sword that pirates use. Growler, not so much. Stingray, Eel, Manta, Pearl, all that ocean themed kind of stuff. And then because the Hydra is that beast with the multi-heads. Got 3 versions, the Mark 1, the Mark 2, and the Mark 3. You know, they got the Plunderer, Buccaneer, which are like common name pirate ships, Cetus. That was actually, yeah, so that's got another pirate meaning, and the actual, it's like a long ship and it's real powerful. So I kind of tried to, like with the design, you know, tried to fit that in. Raider, Makara, a specific design, because that's like a, I think it was a Hindu monster of the sea, and that was half stag, half like fish. So I kind of just implemented the stag and the tide together. So that kind of worked out well. Manta Ray, which was the manta and the Storm Hunter, I think it was. No, I can't remember. Stormbringer. Yeah, another one, Storm Hunter, Corsair, Marauder. This was an experimental one, the Megalodon, which it's like a shark, kind of. I got to move the engine effect up. The Gunner, the Hellraiser, Leviathan. I can't say that word properly. You know, and the Poseidon and the Amphitrite. So yeah, they're all like some kind of unique designs. Chimera was the only one I was going to experiment designs with. So yeah, like all the designs here are real mixed. And yeah, like the Amphitrite, that's the strongest Chimera ship, and it's actually funny to look at when you fire. It's like shooting the power of the sun, because it's got the 9 it's got 9 giga energies. So when you fire, it's just, oh, I've got to go back into system view. It's just, oh, clicked out. It's just like shooting the power of the sun. And there was a reason I did this design as well. So this is the only ship with that curved design. Like all the rest, I kind of just used block. Yeah, it's more pixelated edges, but this one I used the circle. And so with that Amphitrite, it was kind of a reference to another game you might know. But if the design looks familiar, yeah, I was trying to go for if you ever played Eve, I wanted it to look like an Amar ship, and I didn't want to just rip off the Amar design like that I made without looking at any of the ships or anything. I just knew how they look, but I wanted to have that reference to Eve, because yeah, I used to play Eve heaps, and like I know the game is heavily inspired by Eve, but like with this ship and reading the info, you know, it's like it said the design of the Amphitrite was inspired through the pirates coming through a wormhole and them going through and seeing the, you know, space community on the other side. So, you know, it's just a reference to Eve, and if anyone gets it, they're like, oh, hopefully cool, you know. But yeah, like when I used to play Eve, I wasn't actually Amar, I was Galente. But I love the designs of the Amar. So yeah, I mean that one's there to kind of reference that. I want to put more Easter eggs for other things, like probably Star Trek stuff. But yeah. Anyway, moving on to the last faction, and that's Reyna, and they're you know, the complete opposite of Delsec. Like Delsec was all about order and control, and Reyna's just uncontrollable, and like fire they spread and assault everyone. So they're kind of opposite to Griffin as well, and yeah, like they just want to take over the galaxy. So they seem like the bad guys, but yeah, Like, again, I don't want it to be so black and white. Like, they're just, I guess, like, just, yeah, real aggressive faction that they just want to control the galaxy. And yeah, their designs are kind of real evil looking, I guess. Like the Vesper, Carnage, Imp, they've kind of got that sharp demon looking stuff. Claw was the same design as the Vipersec one. Hellion looks like kind of a wing. Terra was the same as the Delsec. Which one? Triangulation, I think? No, it wasn't that one. I forget. Oh, the Assurance. So the Delsec version is the Assurance, and the Rainer one is the Terra. So they're the same design that's just been recolored. You know, you've got the Incinerator and the Infernal. So yeah, like they're that real darker, sharp, you know. And they're the designs I kind of went for with Rainer. And they've got strong pretty much everything. And yeah, like, I mean, they're probably the most powerful, and they use kind of energy weapons as well as electrical weapons. Like, they've got the EMP and flamethrowers and everything, so yeah. So it kind of mixes it up. And like technology wise, Rainer uses Rhinold and Rhenium, I think it is. So yeah, like each faction has their own materials that are common to their space. So like, say you're mining in the Delsec area, you'll get a lot of cobalt and delurium, you know, argon even. And then say you fly to Rainer space, you'll get a lot of Reynold crystals, I think it was. And if I go into cargo bay, where is it? It's probably down the bottom. I haven't looked at this section for ages. Yeah, rhenium crystals. You know, so these will be mineable in Rainer space only. I mean, they're expensive to buy and sell, so like it'll be high risk areas to mine in. And yeah, like, so it gives benefits to mining in some regions over the other. And that comes into that trading aspect as well. So, you know, you go to Rainer space and mine in high risk some rhenium crystals and I don't think there's base or rhenium. So you might get that, then fly back to, say, even Vipersec space and sell it there for a nice profit, mine in Vipersec space for a bit, and then go back to Delsec or go to Griffin. And yeah, like, that's what I would want. So I don't want only the focus to be on the combat, but yeah, like, that's the plan anyway. And yeah, for the next weeks I'm still making ships and making a lot more. Like, I'm doing a decent amount of ships now. I've done a lot of the Delsec and Chimera are almost done with all their ships. Like, there's still a bit more to do, but they're almost there. And then the other three factions, and then that'll be that. All the ships will be finally done, and I can move the ships to their space. So at Delusia 1, you'll only be able to buy these Delsec ships. And then to get the Vipersec ships, you'll have to fly to Serpentine 1 and so on for the other factions. So yeah, that's the aim anyway, and that's what I've been doing this week. So, I mean, kind of yapped on about it a bit, but yeah, just wanted to go through it. And if I'd already gone through it, go through it again. So yeah, guys, I'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching. Jeez, this has gone for 24 minutes. Holy damn. I didn't realize I could talk so much. So yeah, you guys, thanks for watching. I'll hopefully see you in the next video.